Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Everything is Bad new Fangled motion picture show.
Hey there, everyone. 'Tis I, Niall.
And I'm Nolan.
We're here today to review Ready Player One, to have our review buried under the thousands upon thousands of other reviews for Ready Player One that are sure to be on YouTube already as we're recording this.
Yeah.
But
we don't get, like, advanced screenings of anything, so...
Yeah. But we see movies, we talk about movies, it's what we do, so here we are anyway.
So we're going to do a spoiler-free review.
Yep.
We'll throw up a spoiler warning. We'll do a more in-depth review that does contain spoilers.
Yep. And yeah, that's pretty much, that's our MO, so... It's short for modus operandi. So, here we go. This is it
was an alright movie.
An intensely Spielberg movie.
Yeah. I mean, I enjoyed myself.
Yeah, I had fun watching it.
I have not read the book, but as I understand, the movie is vastly different in a lot of ways.
Well, I heard, all the actual main story points are basically there. It's just that, the big things that changes, a lot of the challenges.
Yeah, the challenges are different, but I think that's because they needed to adapt them for a movie, whereas, in the book, I mean, if you just directly adapted them, you'd wind up with an audience and they're watching someone play a video game. And so they needed to make changes to make it better for a movie.
Yep.
And I, understand that. And then also, Spielberg, who directed it, took all the references for his own stuff out, except for a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Yeah.
And because he didn't want to look like he was self-aggrandizing, and he didn't want people who were unfamiliar with the source material to be like, "Oh, Spielberg made this movie to just about how awesome he is. What a
right,
narcissistic guy." And so he took all the references to his own works out of it,
which is okay because there are still plenty of pop culture and video game references in there.
Yeah.
You're not missing anything by not having Spielberg referenced in there.
Right.
But yes, I mean, it was a fun movie. A very Spielbergy movie. I just realized this animated ad that's here on IMDb is kind of spoilery. Yeah, it shows three characters that you don't see until the very end of the movie.
You only see their avatars.
You only see their avatar, and then at the end you see who they are, and it's kind of a little bit of a big deal. So we'll probably get into that in the spoiler bit, but I just noticed that here on the IMDb page. Anyway, so it's a very Spielberg movie. It's got idealistic kids overcoming the evil grown-ups.
Yeah.
It's got music cues with individual actions on screen. It is, a spectacle to behold.
Yeah, sometimes it's even kind of hard to follow what's actually going on.
Yeah, especially in a movie like this, because you're watching the movie, you want to see all the action and the story and everything, but you're also trying to catch all the references.
Yeah, it's not as bad as the last Transformers movie as far as that goes.
Oh god, that was such a mess.
But there's some parts where you're just wow, there's so much going on. I'm having trouble following it. But yeah, at the same time, you are trying to look in the background to catch all the references.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't really have any complaints about the movie.
Yeah, I thought it was fine. I mean, there were some parts that were pretty cheesy, but it's, the nature of this story.
I tell you that I do have one complaint, but it's a spoiler thing, so we'll get to that later.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, all the acting was fine. The visual effects were amazing.
Yeah, they're very good. Especially because most of the movie is animated.
Yeah, most of the movie is 100% animated because they're inside the oasis.
Yeah, very little of the movie takes place outside of it.
Yeah, it's funny. I look at the Oasis and I look at VR chat, which is like the closest equivalent we have right now, and we're just like,
We're not there yet.
no, we are definitely not there yet. Also, I don't. The inside of the Oasis is not believable because having that many gamers all in one place, there's not enough. There's not enough scantily clad anime girl avatars and flagrant racism going on.
We've moved beyond that in the next 30 years or whatever.
I mean, I'm just saying, you've seen VR chat. I've seen VR chat. It's got a long way to go before it hits that level.
I will say, Mark Rylance, who's been like, he's only come to my attention in the last few years, but he's always great in everything he's in. Who was Halliday?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was just like, I don't know, he just always gives like this like great performance. It's like really like little subtle things in there, and he's just like sort of a, I don't know, almost subdued performance, but is like just great for in this role.
Yeah. Yeah, he was also in Dunkirk.
Yeah, Bridge of Spies. Bridge of Spies is the first thing I remember him from.
Yeah. Yeah, he was the boat captain guy in Dunkirk.
Yeah.
Yeah, he gave an amazing performance in this. A lot of like nuances to it.
Yeah.
And so that was really cool, and I like Ty Sheridan because first movie we remember seeing him in was Scout's Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse.
Yep.
Which
has an emotional connection.
Connection for us. So, but anyway, yeah. So it's action-packed movie, gorgeous to look at. All the acting is pretty good.
Oh yeah, and T.J. Miller.
T.J. Miller's really
who's just
funny.
being T.J. Miller. He does the same thing he does in every movie, but he does that really well.
Yep.
So
T.J. Miller gets typecast as T.J. Miller the same way that
Jeff Goldblum
gets typecast as Jeff Goldblum. So, but yeah, so yeah, it was a lot of fun. I do recommend going to see it. So I don't really have anything else to say about it.
No,
that's not spoilery.
Right. So spoiler warning.
Yep. Henceforth.
Yep. Guess I didn't silence my phone.
Guess you did not silence your cell phone.
Just got an email. Anyway.
So spoiler wars.
Yeah.
What was it you?
All right. So my thing, like, so at the end.
Yep.
The five of them now control the Oasis, and they're living the good life. They're showing like this, how like they're the main character. He's living in this like house is basically like a recreation of almost of Halliday's house, like when he was a kid, and you know everyone worships Halliday for creating the Oasis, and he's in the chair making out with his girl, right, and everything's great for him. The rest of the world is still a shithole. Right? He doesn't do anything to improve the world.
Yeah.
Like, the world is a shithole outside of the Oasis. That's why everyone's in the Oasis all the time.
Yeah.
Is to escape the shithole that the world is.
Well, yeah, I mean, part of their solution is to shut down the Oasis on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
So people can go out and, you know, live in the real world a little bit, because that's where reality happens, and you gotta live some of your life in reality. But yeah, it's like, oh great, things end up great for these five people, but you know, everyone else is still...
Yeah. So one thing I forgot to mention in the spoiler-free part, but I'll mention it now. Ben Mendelsohn is really great at playing an asshole.
Yeah.
Because he's the bad guy in this. He's also Director Krennic.
I always get the feeling when he's playing a villain that he's evil. He became evil because everyone made fun of his lisp as a child.
Yeah.
And while he can go from his Australian accent to his American accent very well, he still has a lisp.
Yeah.
It's actually more prominent, though, when he's speaking with his natural Australian accent. But yeah, he's a great villain in this.
Yep. So yeah, I mean, it's... As far as further analyzing in the spoiler part, I mean, there are some things that oh, hey, look at that, Nolan.
Oh, he's doing like what I suggested.
Like you suggested earlier. Sorry, I just again I'm on the IMDb page here, and Wade, main character, is like, or his avatar is like has the 1 foot inside.
He's doing the Marty
McFly
McFly and the DeLorean,
right? Where he's like lifting the
VR
goggles up or something.
Yeah.
And
earlier I had said they'd missed an opportunity in making that the poster.
Yeah, which it looks like there was a poster done that had that on it.
Yeah, but it's very small. It's like a little homage thing. It's not the whole poster.
Yep. I stopped paying attention to like the posters and stuff for movies where it's like I'm gonna see it. I've decided I'm gonna see it, so I just sort of stopped paying attention to the advertising. So I never noticed this poster before. But anyway, but yes, I mean, I don't really have anything else to add.
I wonder if there's a legal reason behind. If you notice the DeLorean in this movie, it doesn't have the DMC logo on the front. Instead, it has like the little kit lights like moving back and forth like a Knight Rider.
Yep.
And I wonder if they did that for legal reasons, like they couldn't have the DMC logo there or something.
Yeah, I don't know. His license plate.
I don't know who holds the rights to DMC right now. Well, there's it's like a Scottish company that builds them to order, right?
Irish
company. They like build them to order or something, right?
I think so.
Or it's an amalgam, like they're built in Ireland, but like the engine comes from Germany or something.
That was DeLorean.
Well, DeLorean did that, yeah.
No, there's a company that bought the tooling from DeLorean and all of their remaining stock of parts.
Yeah,
and will make them custom order.
Yeah, they're made to order until they run out.
But so the thing I was saying is kind of spoilery on IMDb here is there's this animated ad on the Ready Player One page, and it shows like the real life person, and then it like zooms out and you see behind them their avatar. And it's spoilery because like
3 of the characters.
Yeah, like Artemis, you see her real life person like the first time like a third or halfway through the movie.
Yeah, but
and then the H
H uses
Shoto
and Daito
or Sho and Daito.
Yeah,
you don't see until like the last 40 minutes of the movie,
right? And it's a
long movie, by the way.
So it's over 2 hours. So the main character, his best friend in the world, he's only ever met in the Oasis, and he has no idea that this person is actually a girl.
Yep.
And so when he like sees, it's like this sort of a revelation for him when he sees, and he's like, oh, I never met this person. And these other 2 characters he's never met before, but he's interacted a lot with them in the real world, and one of them turns out to be like an 11-year-old kid and everything. So I think the 2 of them are brothers. Sho and Daito are brothers, right?
I kind of got the impression that they knew each other anyway.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Anyway, it's sort of like this moment when they all meet each other for the first time in the real world.
Yeah.
And so
because it's like Daito's like, oh, that's kind of exactly what I expected that character to look like.
Right.
Some like young teenage Asian kid.
Yeah. So, but anyway, this ad just spoils that.
Yeah. That's pretty shitty on their part. Oh, and you can cycle through it too. Look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of shitty that they do that. But yeah, so I mean, dude, is that the swordfish?
Yeah, it is.
I just saw on the.
I didn't
poster here.
I didn't see it in the movie, but it must be in there somewhere.
I mean, well, there's a big battle sequence at the end,
but yeah,
there's got to be all kinds of references because there were
even just like in the opening when it's flying through the Oasis and you're seeing the different areas. There's just stuff flying all over the place that you don't.
Yeah, and I mean, there's just like there was a lot of things in the credits that were credited, such and such character courtesy of whatever, like Overwatch characters courtesy of Blizzard Entertainment and stuff like that. And you're like, there were some where like I don't remember seeing that at all.
Well, what's her name from Overwatch?
Tracer.
Tracer was in there a lot. I saw her in a lot of scenes.
Yeah, she was in the background in a lot of the scenes.
More than any other Overwatch character, that's for sure.
Well, I mean, she's probably, I think, more recognizable.
Yeah. Plus, she stands out with her like bright colors.
Yeah.
I mean, they all have bright colors, but like this is like orange pops.
Yeah.
When everything around her is like blue, usually in the sort of everything has sort of a blue cast in
the Oasis.
In the Oasis.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's probably several Overwatch characters, but Tracer stands out.
Yep. But yeah, so I mean, it's a fun movie. Like, I wouldn't mind seeing it again just to like try to pick out all the references and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's...
Oh, let's talk a little bit about like what everyone's like losing their mind over, and it's the Shining sequence.
Oh yeah, everyone's loving the Shining sequence.
It was really well done.
It really was.
They like go into the Shining, and I think they must have used footage from the Shining or did a really good job of recreating it. And yeah, there's like all these moments where I was like, oh no, because I knew it was like coming. Like, have you seen the Shining? You're like, well, I know what's coming after this.
Yeah.
And like
H, who hasn't seen The Shining, because
she's afraid of scary movies. She doesn't watch scary movies.
Yeah, so she like follows the bouncing ball down the hallway.
He's like, hey, little girls, you know how to get out of here? And goes into room.
Well, they go into the elevator.
Yeah, and like the blood comes out and sweeps them away, and then he goes into that one room, and like the
hag is in there.
Yeah, the hag climbing out of the bathtub and everything. So that was amusing. But that was like a really cool sequence, and I had something more to say about that though. Oh yeah, in the theater, we were like watching, and this like person in the back's like, oh no, they're actually in The Shining.
Well, they went, oh, they're in the movie.
Yeah,
and we're like, hey, where have you been for this whole time? I mean, like, that's kind of the point of this place, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, so that was pretty amusing. Yeah, that whole sequence is very well done. And yeah, I mean, I think that from everything I've heard about what they changed, everything that they changed just seems to me to be there to adapt it for a movie, basically.
Yeah, people don't often realize how much of a book does not translate well to movies, and so a lot of stuff that's left out of adaptations, it's either it's a couple reasons. Time is one thing, but there's also a lot of stuff that's just once you film that, you're like, well, that's boring to look at.
Yeah.
That's not a good movie sequence.
Yeah,
it might work fine in a book, but...
Yeah, but, you know, we can't have every challenge just being watching this kid, like...
Play Atari
games, you know?
Yeah.
So... But, I think that's all I have to say about it.
Yeah.
Oh, we were having this discussion last night. What would be your go-to weapon? Because, like, in the fights in this... on like the Death World or whatever, and then there's a sequence where they get ambushed in a nightclub, and so that was a really cool sequence, by the way.
Yeah, it was.
And they're like going through their inventory, pulling out guns from different video games and movies and stuff.
Like the female lead Artemis, she pulls out a pulse rifle from Aliens.
Yep, and Parzival,
yeah.
Not
Percival.
Not Percival, but Parzival. He pulled out
pistol from Halo.
Yeah, one of them was the Magnum pistol from Halo. I don't remember what the other one was. But so I asked you, what would be your go-to weapon for like, oh crap, I'm now suddenly in a fight in the Oasis.
Yeah, well, my sidearm would be the DL-44.
Just Han Solo's
blaster.
Yeah, that's a good choice.
And so, yeah, I was really trying to figure out what I do for a rifle, and maybe a pulse rifle.
Pulse rifle would be pretty good. I mean, it holds like 60 rounds. That's pretty good. And it has a grenade launcher.
That's true.
I mean, so wouldn't be bad.
She uses both the rifle and the grenade launcher too.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
And well, at one point, Parzival has the sawed-off double barrel from Mad Max.
Yeah.
And uses the double barrel rocket launcher from Halo. So But yeah, oh, you know, it'd be cool weapons to use be ebony and ivory.
Oh, from Devil May Cry?
Yeah, that'd be cool. But anyway, yeah. So I mean, it was kind of cool. Like one thing that was kind of cool I found about the movie is afterwards, like just seeing it was such a like experience seeing just all this different pop culture stuff all in one place like that.
Weren't Ebony and Ivory also the names of Alucard's guns in Hellsing?
I don't remember because it's been a long time since I watched that show.
I think they were.
They might have been.
Yeah.
They were also a black and a white gun.
Yeah.
They might have also been named Ebony and Ivory. I don't know. But, but it got us talking after the movie. We were like, well, what would you do for this? Like, what would be the car you would drive? So like that was actually.
Well, there's this one artifact where you can be a giant robot for like 30 seconds or something like that,
I think it was
or
like
a
10
minute,
minutes.
or however long it was. It wasn't 10 minutes. It was like a few minutes or something. But you get to pick, and like, so what would?
Yeah. So the character's like sitting there, like he's meditating through this fight at the end.
Yeah. Then he picks.
And they're like,
Gundam.
dude, come on, get in the fight, and he goes, I picked the form of Gundam, and his avatar in the game like puts on the artifact's this glove that you put on, and he like transforms into this Gundam. And it's Gundam from the original Mobile Suit Gundam anime. We were saying like because he chose the form of Gundam to fight Mechagodzilla,
which was a lot bigger than the Gundam.
Well, yeah, it is a lot bigger than a Gundam. We were both sitting there going like, there's better and bigger giant robots he could have been.
Well, even like at the same time, H was an Iron Giant, but it wasn't through the same method.
Yeah.
H had built an Iron Giant to pilot or whatever, and Iron Giant's much bigger than a Gundam.
Yeah. So we're both talking about that. Like, there's bigger Gundams he could have gone with. Like, more powerful Gundams he could have gone with than the original one.
Yeah. Well, he should have been a Jaeger because the Jaegers are easily the biggest giant robots out there.
Although, would he still have needed the two pilots?
Nah, probably not.
Yeah.
It's just a form, it's not like all the rules apply to him.
No, the correct answer would have been like a Reaver Titan from Warhammer.
Yeah, there was no Warhammer references in this.
Yeah, we were disappointed about that.
I was kind of looking for something.
Yeah, we were sitting there like, there's no way that there wasn't someone on the staff that was like, I'm gonna put a Space Marine in here,
Yeah. Oh, there wasn't very much Star Wars in there. They had mentioned the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah,
but there was nothing visual.
I think
from
that
Star
just
Wars.
came down to a licensing thing.
Yeah.
Like if Lucas had still owned Lucasfilm, probably would have gotten in there because Spielberg would have just gone to Lucas and been like, "Hey, buddy."
Yeah, that's true. Well, there
wasn't really anything at all from any Disney properties.
There was one thing I was
like,
was it? There was something from Disney that was licensed. That
was there?
Yeah, it was. What was it? I remember seeing it. I was like, okay, there's like one thing, and then I didn't see anything else.
Because like, my vehicle of choice in the Oasis would be a Tron cycle.
Oh, that's what it was. There was a Tron cycle.
Was there a Tron cycle?
There was a Tron cycle in there.
Okay,
that's what it was. The Disney thing.
Was it the original Tron cycle or the?
It was the Tron Legacy.
Okay, that is the correct answer. If you're gonna pick one of those, go with the Tron Legacy one.
It was during the race sequence.
Oh yeah. Well, that was another one of those sequences where there's just so much going on the screen at one time. It's really hard to find everything.
Yeah, but that was the only thing from Disney, I think, that was in there. And I think they probably pushed for that just because it's an iconic 80s thing, even though the reference was from a movie in the 2000s, but the original Tron was from the 80s.
Yeah.
And it's just so full of 80s pop culture and some 90s, but
a lot of 80s. Well, and also some, more recent stuff. There's a bunch of Overwatch in there. There was someone in a Colonial Marine, or not Colonial Marine, a Terran Marine power armor from
StarCraft. And it was cool because it was all like star spangled. It had like stars and stripes.
Oh my god, that was so cool, dude.
So cool. And then
because you took one of my favorite things, which is Terran Marines from StarCraft, and you combined it with another one of my favorite things, which is the United States of America. So
yeah, and then there was a whole bunch of like Halo, like
there was a
Master Chief, like Halo Spartans in there.
Yeah, but yeah. So I mean, but this is exactly what I was talking about. Like it was cool if you, especially like if you go to see it with some friends who are also pretty well versed in a variety of pop culture stuff. Then it you get to talking about it, and I think is like half of the enjoyment of the movie.
Yeah, finding the pop culture stuff is at least half the enjoyment. But
I was disappointed. I wish there was more.
There's probably like some Star Wars posters on the wall, like in Halliday's bedroom from when he was a kid or something. But I noticed a Star Trek: The Motion Picture poster. I was like, I don't know why you.
The worst.
Well, I don't know. I don't actually. It might not have been the. It might have been like one of the other ones. It was. Remember, it's the one that has like it's like the rainbow of like going across, and there's like yeah, you know what I'm talking about. That might have been 6 actually. I don't know. 6 is one of the better ones.
Yeah,
has all my favorite lines from Star Trek movies.
But the only thing is, I kind of wish there was more anime reference.
Yeah,
it's like
there would be a lot of anime
because there would exactly. It's not because like I'm sitting there as a giant anime nerd being like, oh man, I want to. Oh, there should be more. I'm just saying it because there would be realistically there would be a lot more anime reference in there. I mean, just look at VR chat.
There'd be like Sailor Scouts walking around and stuff. There could have been, we just didn't notice. But
yeah,
I didn't see any offhand.
There's only like the 2 really noticeable anime references: is the Gundam and the Akira motorcycle.
Yeah, that was in the race, right?
Yeah, well, that was Artemis's motorcycle.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That was a plot point.
Yeah,
was the motorcycle itself. So.
Right. Now I remember that. Yeah, she was driving the Akira motorcycle. Judging by that race, I don't know why you would take anything but a motorcycle. From what I saw,
yeah,
you have a distinct advantage with the motorcycle,
being able
to weave in and out of small spaces and stuff.
Which is why I would take a Tron cycle as my.
Yeah, especially if you could make the light walls. That'd be cheating though.
Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, go check it out if you're into pop culture, which I mean, if you're gonna go watch a Steven Spielberg action-packed movie like if you're even remotely considering a movie like this, all the references are stuff that you'll probably get.
Unless your favorite Steven Spielberg movie is Schindler's List, then it's a great movie, but it's not most people's favorite Spielberg movie.
Yeah.
Most people will pick something more lighthearted. They're like, oh yeah, Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Or Jaws.
Or something, you know.
I mean, Last Crusade is the correct answer, but hey, whatever. Right.
Anyway.
So I think it's about what we have to say about Ready Player One.
Yeah, I think so.
What do we got coming up? Oh, next week, it looks like we're finally going to get to see Isle of Dogs.
That'll be nice.
I think. Which is convenient, because I think there's nothing else next weekend that we were...
Unless we see, like, Chappaquiddick? No, is that out next week?
Or that's next week.
Yeah.
We might see Chappaquiddick. I don't know. We might see it and just not review it. I don't know. But yeah, assuming Isle of Dogs comes out as for a widespread release, we're definitely seeing that next week. And then the week after is a whole lot of nothing. Ooh. The week after that is Rampage and Super Troopers 2. And then Avengers.
Super Troopers 2 kind of snuck up on me.
Yeah. Well, it was one of those things where, like, I really didn't care if it ever got a sequel. Like, I watched the movie a couple times. I enjoyed it. I think it's pretty funny.
But yeah, it wasn't like...
I wasn't, like...
clamoring for a sequel.
Right. And so when they announced the sequel, I was like, alright, it'll probably be funny. I'll watch that when it comes out. And then just didn't care further because that's my level of excitement for that movie.
Yeah.
So, but yes, that's what we got coming up for the rest of April. And then Avengers, at the end of the month. And then May's not looking real great other than Deadpool. Oh, and Solo's at the end of the month, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it until we hit the summer blockbuster season, it's going to be a little light from us because there's still movies coming out, but it's a lot of stuff that just doesn't look exciting, doesn't look like anything we're interested in. So maybe we'll manage to get Death of Stalin in there somewhere.
I hope so.
We might just have to review that when it finally comes out on DVD or Blu-ray and streaming.
Yeah.
Cool. So
maybe we'll be like Starship Troopers, Trader of Mars, and be like one of two people who review it.
Yeah. It's as of this recording, our number one viewed new Fangled motion picture show because it's one of like 2 or 3 reviews on YouTube.
Yeah, literally, like only a couple other people reviewed it.
Yeah.
I think we're the only ones who gave it a good review.
Oh,
too.
dude, a Merida rifle.
Yes. I think we're the only ones who gave it a good review. Anyway.
But that reference, by the way, is back to our discussion about what would be your go-to long arm. And the Merida rifle is what the mobile infantry uses in the Starship Troopers movie. So that could be cool. All right, but anyway, so I think it probably covers Ready Player One pretty thoroughly. So check out the rest of our reviews and the stuff that's coming up as it trickles in. And check out our streaming over on twitch.tv/everything_is_bad, where we're coming to the finale of The Last of Us.
1 or 2 more
gameplay
playthrough.
And then the DLC. Those streams are getting slowly but surely edited and posted to our YouTube page, so you can go back and watch it from the beginning. Nolan wasn't there till like episode 3 though, so if you're here for Nolan, which is no one, so I don't know why I said it, start watching there. So cool. Until next time, thanks for listening.
So long.
Toodaloo.